Kenny Boldt is dead. Um, he apparently got hit by a train on Sunday. Laren Campbell just called me a few minutes ago. Um, I'm terrible at understanding my emotions, and I usually just bury my emotions. And but I figured I might as well process my thoughts here on video, because why not? Um, I pulled up my Google Photos of Kenny. My last photo of Kenny video was June 11th of this year. And my first photo of Kenny was July 20th, 2016. Kenny has been with me on this homeless journey since the beginning. July 20th, 2016. I would say we had started our tent community. Is that right? Maybe July. It says July 2016. That seems early, because then the next video or picture I have of him is 2018. I guess I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know why that picture says 2016. This picture here is this is not 2016. This is Kenny making a sign for something we called Middlebury Market. And the idea was that it was basically like a market where homeless people could bring things to sell and people could buy them. And Kenny is an artist, and he was making the sign here for that. This is not 2016. Absolutely not. It's way later. So maybe 2018 is more accurate. We got I think a bandsaw. I think a bandsaw. A bandsaw is like a thing that is a band, right? It goes in a band. And you can make really fine cuts. And he was making marijuana leaves out of wood. I don't know if I probably can't find that. I'm sure I have a picture of what he made. But I don't think I don't know if I can find that. Is Kenny Boldt the person I've been closest to throughout this? Maybe. When Andrew overdosed, that was pretty rough too. He died in a tiny house on my property. That was also pretty rough. A lot of people accused me of killing him. So it kind of messed up the vibe for me a little. He had a conspiracy that we were in business together, and I was stealing money from the business. We were not in business together. But he would steal the mail out of my mailbox at 15 Broad Street, and I eventually had to get one of those really locked down mailboxes, because he would steal any kind of mail out of the mailbox, my tenant mail, not even my mail. Somehow he was convinced that when a tenant at the building got a check, that was his money. So at any rate, then people were like, oh, Sage and Andrew were in business together, and Kenny said that Sage was stealing the money, so Andrew was murdered by Sage, and I wasn't anywhere near him, and I would never kill Andrew. Andrew was mentally ill. I loved Andrew. But at any rate, that whole that whole tinge of it, people still look at me funny when I bring up Andrew's death. There's a lot of rumors and stories in the homeless community. Very rarely does anybody just die for like cruel intentions. Everybody that I've ever heard in the homeless community that has died was murdered. You know, and I wouldn't be surprised if when I go and hang out with our homeless people that there will be rumors like that Kenny was murdered. I mean, I haven't heard that yet, certainly, but that's not true. I guarantee he was not murdered by a train. I mean, technically the train murdered him, but the train had no ill intention. The train was just trying to get from spot A to spot B, and Kenny was on the path. Now, whether or not Kenny killed himself, I don't know, and I don't know if anybody else knows that. I have not seen Kenny in a couple weeks. There was a guy who moved into the abandoned house and didn't know Kenny and got upset at Kenny, and I heard hit Kenny, beat up Kenny, punched him, I don't know, something. And then I hadn't seen Kenny since. And that's been a couple weeks. And I was rather hopeful that maybe Kenny was ready to move on, because Kenny and I, and Kenny and anybody, would talk about how much he hated being on the street. He hated it. Hated it. Hated it, hated it, hated it. Let me see if I can find a picture of... Oh, yeah, here. Is this it? Yeah, here. Here's a picture of him getting his house keys. And that was an incredibly happy time for him. That says that's December 30th, 2022. And he lost that house. That house, so there was tons of COVID money in Akron, and CSS was giving houses left and right. So many people were getting into houses, and it was so awesome. But most of my friends that got those houses lost them, and Kenny was one of them. And the reason he lost it was because for the first few months it was free. He didn't have to pay anything. Then the next stage was he needed to pay $50 a month. And I would hire him. In fact, you can see right next to that is us working on our roof. Kenny is an amazing roofer. This is Sully. Sully's in prison. This is Kenny in the back. And so I would hire Kenny for jobs so that he could pay his rent, which was $50 a month. And he would never give the money to the landlord. And don't be like, oh, he was spending it on drugs. No. He was spending it on other stupid crap, like Polar Pops and guitar strings and, I don't know. I don't think I ever saw him with his own drugs. I mean, he would use drugs, and maybe he's bought drugs. I don't know. But whenever I would take him to some place, Like I would pay him. We would come over to this convenience store. What is this place called? I go all the time. I want to say Dairy Mart, but it's not Dairy Mart. It's like anyway, it doesn't matter. It's on the east side on Market. We go here, and he buys all kinds of stuff like a pop or candy, or cigarettes. Like that was his big thing, I suppose. If he made money, what he really usually wanted was a pack of real cigarettes. And but he lost the house, and then I got a video of him here. Hold on. After losing the house, let's see if we can watch that. So I'm here with my good friend Kenny Boldt. Kenny, you just told me you had an apartment, but you don't have one right now.
Yes.
Can you tell me how did the whole process go? Like how was getting it and how was having it, and tell me all about that.
Everything was good as far as getting it, and the help that I received was phenomenal.
That was CSS, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem, I guess, it was with me trying to find work and just coming off the street. Like, I was homeless for 5-6 years.
6 years.
So, it's like, it's not an easy adjustment.
Yeah. How did it feel living indoors? Was it good?
It felt good, but it's been such a long time that, so.
Like, can you talk a little bit more about that? Were you lonely? Were you depressed? Were you anxious in there?
Lonely, because I thought more of my friends would come by.
Yeah.
But I should have been looking for work, and I was focused on the wrong things.
So that was, you can't really see it in that video, but that was the lowest I had ever seen Kenny. He just felt like such a failure. And, so the story goes, Kenny's wife, or I don't know if they were officially married, fiance, dies. This is 10 years ago. 2011, I think? 2011. I can't, sorry. I just recently looked it up. She dies falling down some stairs. And Kenny is not around, and he is never seriously looked at as a suspect of that. I've talked to the family, and they were like, it was just an accident. She fell down these stairs. And they had a couple kids together, one or two, or two, at least two, maybe three. And it sent Kenny into a massive tailspin. And he started drinking really heavily, and he eventually walked away from his kids. And that, I think, felt like a failure to him. 100% it was he was very ashamed of that and sad that he did that. But Kenny is an incredibly sensitive person. Kenny is an artist to his core. And I think he told me the story, and I'm sorry, I should have written it down, but then I think he moved in with his brother. I think. And he was drinking a lot, and then he met a girl named Aggie, and I think Aggie moved in, and Aggie and him were like oil and water. Aggie and him lived, I'll get to that in a second, I guess. It went terribly. There at the end of that, there was something about a fight on the street with a samurai sword. I don't know if that's true or not, but I wouldn't doubt it. And basically the brother's like, you guys need to get the hell out of my house. And I think then the next step was the tent city, our tent city in Akron, because that's when I picked up the story. And that's interesting because I don't have any pictures that far back of Kenny. So that's earlier. Okay. I'm sorry. I mean, when he lived in that tent with Aggie, well, here are some pictures. Okay, here. Let me show you. So here's Kenny Boldt. Is this picture going to render better? Come on. Okay. So on the left is Kenny Boldt. On the right of this man is Patty. And this was the homeless guy with the magic voice. Do you remember that guy? He went super viral, and he had been a radio announcer before he was homeless. And the guy paid him it was a journalist paid this man. I can't remember his name, but he's very famous. And anyways, he came to our place, and everybody was super excited to see him. And Kenny here was so happy. Kenny's wearing a shirt actually that he screen printed right here. I don't want your coins, I want change. He screen printed that shirt, and he was so excited to meet this guy. And I'm sorry I can't remember his name. Oh wait, here it is. Let's see.
Yeah. No. And what's your name? Kenny. Oh, Kenny. And yours? Patty.
No, Patty.
Oh, Patty and Kenny. Thursdays on CBS. There you go. And what's the doggy's name?
Cappy. Like a happy Cappy.
Oh, Happy Cassie. Come on over here and take a picture. Come on.
Well, you can take a picture with.
So there you go. I mean, can you hear his voice? It was really cool. It was like them seeing a rock star, you know? Let me see what this video is.
Hold on. Here, Aggie, let me.
Okay. This video right here is Aggie and Kenny saving a man. So this man had snuck into this tent. We didn't know this man, and he had overdosed. And so Kenny and Aggie pull him out and save his life.
Come on.
If you've never seen a dead human before, this is what they look like. This is what an overdose looks like.
Watch his head.
Who's got Narcan? You guys have more?
Yeah, there's some right there. He's got one in his
This inspector lady, she's really nice from the fire department. She was always over yelling at me about various stuff, and she had just showed up.
They've been working using them all the time.
Yeah, we've used 2 of them on him so far.
So he's gotten 4 total?
2.
They've already given him 2.
But he's
4.
Look at that. That is what an overdose looks like. Okay? And I just want you to understand, if you can hear Aggie's voice, she is so shook. Saving these people's lives, pulling dead. That man is dead, okay? That man and you, I mean, did you see the dead weight? He is dead. He is dead. And that guy they're going to revive him. I don't need to play that whole video, but I guess I want to point out the trauma of this life, that this is the bullshit you live every fucking day on the street. And so, like, a guy like Kenny, it's just trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma, and he can't get out of it. Okay? What's this one? I don't know. That's something different. Let's see what this is. Zach Milkovich. He was the city councilman, one of the only ones that. Oh!
From Corinthians.
Oh my gosh! This was a wedding we had. Let's see. It's 55
13,
seconds.
verse 4 through 8.
So these two got married in our yard. Joyce and what's his name, Rocky? Joyce and shit. Anyways, I can't remember. I imagine Kenny's
Love is
there.
patient.
Robin.
Love is kind.
Robin.
Love does not envy.
So
Love-
this was one of the more beautiful things that ever happened to us. That Zach Milkovich presided at this wedding in our yard.
Does not boast.
I
Love
would
is not
imagine
proud.
Kenny's in here somewhere. Where is he? Where is
It does not dishonor others.
he? There he is. He's a best man. Look at that. He is so proud to be a part of this.
It is itself.
That's Joey. I just saw Joey. This guy in the back is doing really well. Sorry. Shit. I'm sorry. The name escapes me. Anyways, this was a wonderful day. And here is Zach and Kenny talking. Kenny kind of explaining the situation that he's in, and there he is with an electric guitar. This was a great day. So this guy's dad is dead. But he learned how to cut hair in prison, and he was giving Kenny a haircut. This is Kenny making one of those screen print shirts. He loved doing that. Here is Kenny unpacking. We would go to the food bank, and this is Kenny right here. Always helpful. Always. 100% of the time. Here he is. He was living in the 47 house. There he is. This was all his friends. The street, all these people. Virginia's dead. Herman's dead. These other guys aren't dead. So now it's Virginia, Herman, and Kenny. Those are the 3 out of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 people dead. Or 4, I'm sorry, 3 out of 7. Here he is. Now here he is making a shirt, signing it because he was really, he made beautiful shirts. Beautiful shirts. Look at that. God, he was a great artist. Here he is. Okay, this, I can't remember. This was probably someone's funeral. Somebody probably had died. We only ever did events down here. This is Lest We Forget Park. I'm sure, I don't remember who died, but one of his friends, no doubt. Here's Kenny with his other friends. This is Andrew. He's dead. That was the guy I was telling you about. I can't remember her name. I don't think she's dead. Here we met a guy that came to our camp for a while, and he just needed to get back home, and I can't remember where. And Kenny's like, dude, do the right thing. There were 2 pieces of wisdom Kenny always told me. Do the right thing and lock it the fuck up. He would oftentimes come to me. I'll see if I can show you this family he made me save on a Sunday afternoon. I just wanted to go home. Three generations of, from the grandmother to an 8-year-old daughter on that Lest Me Forget Park. But at any rate, we raised money and took this guy back home, and we never saw him again. I really liked this picture. This was a kind of a stylized picture I did of it, just because he was always seemed like he always was a artist. I just had that moment, where that grief just hits you every once in a while. That was that. This was a terrible day. So we had we have this documentary coming out about mental illness in Akron and what we're doing, and they wanted to get the cops together with us, and the cops just treated it as a fucking inquisition, and it made me so fucking mad. I thought we were going to have a conversation, but they sat them down in these fucking chairs, and these fucking cops just lorded over them like the assholes they often are. God fucking damn it. And there's Kenny. They're just being interrogated by that goddamn fucking asshole. Fuck. Ugh. I think here's that market sign he was working on. Here is... Oh, this is the documentary crew showing Kenny with that bandsaw where he was making those marijuana leaves. I wonder if... Oh, is this one? No, those are his keys. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Look at that. Can I zoom in on that? Look at that. He spent so much time on making that leaf, all those little cuts, and then he painted it. I think he sold it for like $5. He was so happy with that. Somebody brought us cookies, and he loved that one. It was a heart. That was nice. Here he is playing his guitar. Oh, this guy, I can't remember this guy's name, but he donated a guitar to Kenny, and he was so happy. And this is Kenny with his guitar and that guy's friends, their kids. Here's Kenny on the drums. He's practicing with a metronome. He would play his guitar for hours. He loved music. Loved it. We were doing trash cleanup around Akron. He was always on that team. Here he is hauling tar up on that roof. He would haul shit on that roof all the time. He started living on that roof for a while, and then somebody moved the ladder, and he had to call the police to get him down because he was stuck on that roof. Here he is. I forget what guitar that is. Oh, this is December 27th. We were getting ready for our, what were we calling it? Trap House Christmas party. We had gotten a karaoke machine and some cheese and stuff. Oh, let's see. Here he is on the karaoke machine.
Whisper secrets in my ear, slowly dancing cheek to cheek. Such a sweet thing when you open up, baby.
He's awesome. Okay, and then we went to see Johnny Cash at the Goodyear Theater. He was so excited. Not real Johnny Cash, sorry, it was a cover band. He was so happy. He loved that. Here he is playing my son's guitar because, okay, so here's the thing. Kenny, at the end, believed that his dad was Jimi Hendrix. And then he believed Jimi Hendrix's real dad was Jim Morrison from The Doors. And he believed it. He believed it. And so at any rate, Kenny got in his mind that he was a electric guitar guy, and somebody had given him an acoustic, and one day he just smashed it. And because he's like, I'm not an acoustic guitar player, I'm an electric guitar player, but that made him really sad. And so at any rate, I would come over. We're in the camper now. This is in the Nomadic Spirit Mobile Community Center. I would bring over my son's guitar, and he would play it every minute I was there. What's this video?
From a kid named Thomas and he was in love.
Okay, this is good. So the guitarist actually is, in this case, another homeless man, Hurricane, and Kenny's singing against that song.
He said, don't worry about a thing, baby doll, I'm the man you've been dreaming of. 3 months later, he said he won't dare her return her calls. And she swear, goddamn, if I find that man, I'm cutting off his balls. Then she heads for the clinic.
So I'm sorry. This was the picture of that guitar. I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention. So yeah, here he is again with my son's guitar. He loved that in the camper. Then in June, I did this for him. it's worth it, I guess. Come on, you can do it. Spin. Play the video. Play it. Fucking bullshit. Let me try it again. Will there ever be a time in my life where I don't have to watch a circle go around waiting for something to load? How fast does the internet have to get till I don't have to do this crap anymore? Maybe I'm not supposed to show that video. I want to. Hold on. Come on. I want to show it. All right, no, maybe the universe is saying, look, that's too self-serving, Sage, don't show it. Anyways, what he had put an electric guitar, a white electric guitar on layaway, and he'd put some money down on it, 30 or 40 bucks, and then he was never able to put more money on it. So I went down and I got it. I paid the rest and I got it. And then here, let's listen to him on that guitar. And then Margie bought him this cool little amp that you plug right into it. I tried, did I not show that again? God, I suck at, you're going to watch that again. You're watching that. And then that's it. That's it. That's the end of that's the last Kenny Boldt recording I have, because apparently now he's dead. So honestly, when Laren told me, the very first thought out of my head was, thank God. He just hated being stuck on the street. And I would tell him, I'm like, Kenny, you are mentally ill. And I would do it any way I could. I would be like, look, let's not call it mentally ill. Let's call it you tuned into another radio station. You're tuned into one radio station. Most of the rest of us are tuned into another radio station, and you're hearing that tune, and we're hearing this tune, and those are different tunes. And he would be like, no, Sage, I'm telling you this is real. And he would get upset at me that I was, but I was like, if you would just go get the diagnosis, we could get you on disability, and we could get you a check. And honest to God, Kenny Boldt was one of the people I had in mind that if I could become a lawyer, which I'm going to do starting in the fall, I could help these people get their disability checks. I'm like, when I become a lawyer, I can help Kenny get his disability check, which is like 4 years from now. Did Kenny commit suicide by train? I don't know. And maybe somebody else will know, and I don't know that I'm going to follow up. It doesn't matter. Now, I will say this. If you've ever hung out on a train track, near a train track for a long time, those things sneak up on you, man. In fact, I was working with a woman. We were out doing trash, and she's like, I was walking down the train track, and I looked back, and there was a train coming for me. And she's like, I did not hear it. I've heard that story a couple different times. Trains sneak up on you. If they're not blowing their horn, it's it's quiet. It is a quiet process. So could Kenny have gotten legitimately run over? Absolutely he could have. Did that fight that he got into, was that the straw that broke the camel's back? Because he was living at our property. He probably moved down by the tracks. Because I hadn't seen him in a couple weeks. Like I said, the last video, that video of June 11th, no, I saw him early July. I just didn't have a picture. I did see him in July. I saw him. I went on vacation. I came back and he was there, still with the guitar, still happy with the guitar. But Kenny just seemed to never be able to dig himself out of this life. And the system is not built for guys like Kenny. It has no patience for somebody like Kenny. It'll make efforts, but it's not. It is not for people like Kenny. And like I said, I had multiple friends get into housing with that COVID money that CSS had, and all of them, my friends, got washed out of that because they're like super homeless, like 5+ years on the street. And if you remember that video, like just being on the street, it gets in your. Imagine living on the street shelterless for 5 years. Winter, spring, summer, fall, winter, spring, summer, fall, winter, spring, summer, fall, on and on and on and on. It just it changes everything about you. And then they're like, here's a house in a neighborhood you don't know, away from anybody you've ever met. And then he's like, maybe my friends will come over, but they won't because it's too far away. And so you just sit day after day after day alone in your house because you don't have transportation, you don't have any money, you don't have any furniture, you don't have shit. And so now you've gone from living on the street, at least you had your friends, to living in a box with nothing. You think that's going to work out? What? Who with a modicum of openness to other people's existence believe that's going to work out? Well, I'll tell you what. Of course it works out sometimes. Sometimes. Everything works out sometimes. Everything. If you put enough people on a path, some of them are going to work out. I don't care what the path is. I don't care. Like, I think that's like AA. If you have enough people run through AA, some are going to work out. There isn't a plan I have seen that I'm like, oh, well, that's a good plan. They're fine. They're all fine. I oftentimes say the best plans I've seen are jail and Jesus. Sometimes people find Jesus, and I never understood why Jesus makes people want to quit drugs. But apparently Jesus doesn't want you taking drugs. And so they're like, man, I got to quit. I found Jesus, so I can't do drugs anymore. And I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. Jesus doesn't like drugs. I didn't read that anywhere. I heard that once you're saved, you're automatically right in heaven. You don't have to do anything. It's not about works. But somehow, Jesus has convinced them they need to quit drugs, and it works. So good. Praise Jesus. Jail, I've seen jail maybe work more than anything. But it also, I have a friend who was in jail for a long time, and he's right back at it. Right back at it. Like, just didn't skip a beat. I haven't drank in 23 years, and I tell you, if I started drinking right now, it would be like I never left drinking. I would pick up right where I left off 23 years ago. Okay? Addiction is real. It's a pain in the fucking ass. And so, these programs are fucked. The system is fucked. We won't do anything out of the ordinary to help a guy like Kenny. Can't have a tent city, can't have tiny houses, can't have, like, I can't even have a house with these people because the people I want in my houses are wild animals. Sorry, wild humans. Well, we're all wild. We're all animals. But yeah, I go for the hardest people. You know how some people are like into pit bulls? I'm into like the hardest cases homeless people. All my friends are drug addicts. All my friends have been on the street for 5 or more years. Okay? Those are who I like to work with. They're insane and wild. All right? What do you think they're going to be like? You're going to be like, oh, now I have a house. I will get my shit together. No, you fucking assholes. You're so fucking stupid. The people that run these organizations don't know any. I mean, they do. I mean, maybe their hands are tied. Maybe the people that dole out the money don't give a fuck. But I tried my tent city, and all of the continuum of care, they put out a group letter chastising me, telling everybody in the Beacon Journal what a piece of shit idea I had, and we need to close this, and I'm enabling people. Well, Kenny was one of those people, and now he's fucking dead. So what fucking plans do you have? What plans do you have to come up with so I don't have to have another one of these fucking videos? You got any? No, I don't have any plans. Your plans are stupid, though. I know that. I went to the mayor last year, and I'm like, hey, why don't we have an emergency shelter for during the winter, January to April? The editorial board of the Beacon Journal said, let's try it. I couldn't even get a hold of the mayor. He ghosted me so hard. I mean, it was so fucked. So fucked. So fucked. All of this shit is fucked. Because no one's allowed to do anything for Kenny Boldt. And he's just one of hundreds that I know. All in the same fucked up situation in Akron, Ohio. Now Georgianne's calling, and I have to talk to her because this is a fucked up situation. I love you, and I'll see you later.